Oh my goodness, are you guys ready to hear my top 5 most anticipated August releases? Though the struggle was real, I know I say that often, but y'all, there are some really exciting manga coming out next month. But narrowing down my top 5, I made it happen. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. So very excited that you're here. So excited for this video. As of filming this video, just finished doing the shoujo release calendar graphics yesterday. So please stay tuned for Friday. I will have those graphics up and you can see all the amazing things that are releasing. Lots of good stuff, and narrowed it down to the top 5 was like, oof, we gotta really think about like what is our most anticipated ones that like as soon as it arrives, I know I want to start reading immediately. Yeah, these are going to be in no certain order, though I do have to say for number 1, Villains Are Destined to Die, the novel. Yes, this was one of my biggest wins of this year. I'm overjoyed, hyped, excited that we're finally getting this. Villains Are Destined to Die, Penelope specifically, that is my best girl. I absolutely love her. I feel like her and Shirayuki from Snow with the Red Hair are my 2 favorite female characters, and I absolutely adore them and love them so very much. And Villains Are Destined to Die is definitely like my favorite manhwa. I love it. It's incredible. It's amazing. Granted, I haven't read it twice, and I do feel like that's sort of like my standard for like saying something is my favorite, but just the emotional whirlwind that the manhwa took me on has me extremely hyped to read the novel, because I keep up with spoilers all the time for this series, which is really weird because I don't like seeing spoilers for other series I love, but for Villains Are Destined to Die and manhwa in general, I'm like, it's okay, I don't mind. Give me all the spoilers. So with that said, in case if you're not familiar with this series, it's so very good, at least the manhwa, and I have high expectations for the novel because of the said spoilers I've seen. It is about our main female lead. She is a tired, overworked, really run-down college student, and she has been isolated more or less by her family due to some things that have happened. She decides to play this random otome game, and she plays it once where all the love interests, you know, interested in the heroine, and then she gets the love routes, everything. Well, then she finds out, or she knew somewhere in there, but she decides to play hard mode, where you're not starting as the heroine, you're starting as the villainess. And she cannot beat hard mode. Despite how hard she tries, she just can't do it. And after I think she played like all night of playing this otome game, she falls asleep, wakes up in the body of Penelope, the villainess in the otome game. And similar to how when she played, she can't freely speak on her own. She can only say what the game prompts her to say. So like if she's asked a question by a love interest, she has 3 answers. She has to choose one of these, and she knows based off of her own gameplay that all of these choices are not good, because unlike with the easy mode with the heroine, all the love interests start at a good number, because like once they get to 100%, then they're like, oh, the heroine and this love interest, they're in love and they're gonna get married and everything is okay. But for Penelope right now, those numbers are in the negative, and if that number drops, her life is over. Forfeit. Done. Over. She is not coming back for that, so she's got to be extremely careful what she says. But because this game is not allowing her to freely speak, she's even more terrified. And that's part of why I love this manhwa. I know I've gushed about more than once before in this channel, is the emotional roller coaster that I was on. I was terrified for Penelope. I feel like typically with villainous stories, they're really lighthearted, they're funny, they don't typically act like a villainess, but I do feel like Penelope in this situation has to really embrace her inner villainess, and the way she's still going out acting like that villainess when she needs to, knowing the stakes that are like upon the words she says. There's many times I forget to breathe. There's many times I forget to breathe. I'm again terrified, though when the winds come, I celebrate them. I celebrate them, and I am not happy that Derek's face is on the cover. Nope. I'm not happy about it. I've actually already said that I'm going to be covering his face up because no, I just don't need to see him. Though I feel like it's rubbing off on me a little bit, because when I made the shoujo release calendar, I'm like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. But on my own end, I'm not going to put it in the official graphics on Friday when I post them. But I did put Penelope's beautiful face on there because I'm like, no, Derek, guys, you know, if you're on my Discord server, I really feel like I got that certified Derek hater status because I just can't stand him, and I cannot. I can't bring myself to like his character. There's no redemption for him. And I did hear that there is a certain story that happens in the novel. And your girl don't want to read it, but I want to read it because let's see if my feelings can change at any given point. I don't think they are because, you know, the manhwa or like anything that has been adapted from a novel, that some of the details are going to be left out. They have to. So yeah, if some of those details have been left out, that means I'm going to get more, and I'm going to see how rotten Derek really is. I think, granted, that's just my perception, but that's not why this is my most anticipated read. It's my most anticipated in my top 5 because of Penelope. I'm really, really excited to read this, and yeah, I cannot wait. I would love to do a first impression kind of thing and compare it to the manhwa. I don't know if I'll be able to or not. My kids start school next month, or they go back to school, I mean, so it's sort of just gonna be on standby if that would happen. I know somebody asked me though if I could do a compare and contrast between the manhwa and the novel, and again, I would love to do that, but we'll see what happens time-wise because I really don't know. For number 2 though, this was another huge win that came from Tokyo Pop, and I'll never probably forget it for a really long time because that Sunday I was like, I'm gonna take a break. Come back Monday morning, Tokyo Pop had license announcements, and I'm like, what is going on? And they dropped this one. And that is reincarnated in a mafia dating sim. A Yakuza heiress becomes the top-ranked villain's romantic target. Y'all, I have wanted to read this for such a long time. It's by the same creator as the 7th Time Loop writer. I had to think about that because the artists are two separate things, but the actual writer is the same because I believe this started out as a light novel and then it got adapted into a manga. And the biggest reason I have been so excited for this is because it has mafia. It's a mafia dating sim. The female lead gets reincarnated into this mafia dating sim, and the thing is, I believe before she was the actual daughter. I think it was like Yakuza or something like that, and so when she's getting reincarnated, she is determined to change things, where she's like, I am gonna live a different life that is not involved with the mafia, with the crime lords, the Yakuza, none of it. Something happens, I think she gets like kidnapped is what the blurb was saying. She basically saves herself, which sort of backfires because in her mind, she's thinking, yes, there's no male leads, there's no interference, no love interest. I am good. I can go live a peaceful life. But yeah, that crime lord, her fiance, yeah, he doesn't want to break the engagement now. He's even more intrigued, more curious about her because of all the things that she's doing. So yeah, things are not going to go according to plan, but we all know this for villainous manga. I don't really feel like this is a villainous manga. It has those vibes, I think. But yeah, for villainous stories, nothing ever goes according to the new villainous's plan. And of course, that's part of why we read it, because we want to see the plans not go according to plan. You know what I'm saying? At least for me. And so I am overjoyed. I think the blurb was saying, yeah, that was for fans of mafia romance, otome, isekai, and school life in a fantasy world. And I was like, boom, boom, boom. 3 instant wins, done, sold, I'm seated. I did have a friend ask me if I would do a first impression on this, and the answer is yes, that is definitely my plan. Though I think of how things are releasing, I may not be able to do the first impression until the beginning of next month. I guess going into number 3. For number 3, I'm saying Mechanical Marie. And this one releases August 26th. So it's near the later half of the month, or yeah, the end of the month actually. And I want to do a first impression on that. So I sort of have to wait for that one before I can do the dating sim. But this was another win for me, even though it technically was not on my bingo board. If you go back and watch one of my old manga news video talking about how I felt when we got the news, I was squealing, I was screaming in my car, had a great time, was so very, very excited for this. I'm not really sure why I didn't have it on my physical license wish list. I know in my head it was on there, but physically, like written wise, it wasn't. But in case if you're not familiar with this one, honestly, shout out to the person who wrote the blurb for this at Yen Press, because it was perfect. Because it's more or less starting off with saying he was a boy, she was a robot. Well, not really, because that is the whole thing, is like this guy, the male lead, he is seems some kind of fancy or like a very important businessman. He doesn't seem to really like people. Of course, he needs to have like a guard. He needs to be protected from people who might like try and hurt him, say like assassins. And so I guess his team decides to hire this robot. And I say robot because she's actually a girl, but she has to act like she is this android. And the male lead has absolutely no idea that she is an actual human. And apparently he is very doting and he likes to be, I guess you'd say, very, very soft with her and treat her very sweetly. And I think the blurb was saying that it's sort of going to come down to of which is going to take her heart first, these assassination attempts, or is it going to be the male lead and how he keeps doting on her. And I feel so bad for her. Like, we do have an anime coming out of this. We talked about the latest key visual earlier this week in my manga news video, and then previous week we talked about the PV that had been shared, and it looks like such a fun time. Like, everybody I know who has tried this has really, really enjoyed it, and that's part of why I am so excited for it, because I love when we have a female lead that especially can kick butt, looks cute, and just a really funny sounding premise, because I can't even imagine having to act like a robot. Like, I can't, I just can't. I can't, and not being able to, like, what does she do about lunch and dinner and food and sleep? Like, how does he come to find out? Because surely he's gonna find out at some point, and how's all that gonna go down? Like, I have all these questions, so I'm really, really excited to see and read this manga for myself. I'm very hyped for it and really, really excited to read it. Over number 4, this was such a win. We talked about earlier this week that Kodansha on Thursday, the 24th, that we finally got a print club update, and that Love, That's an Understatement Volume 2 is officially coming out the 5th of August, and I'm so excited. Of course, this had to make it in my top 5 most anticipated releases. I already have my copy pre-ordered. Actually, I have it pre-ordered twice. I pre-ordered it once on Amazon, and then I saw that it was unavailable, and I panicked, and I went and reached out to some friends like, hey, would anybody be willing to use their membership at Barnes & Noble's to pre-order me a copy so that I could get it, because I felt 10 times more confident with them after everything that happened with Veil. And I was like, Barnes & Noble's like apparently going to be one of the book retailers coming in clutch there, so I asked them, and thankfully shout to my friend Liz who got it for me. And so I was like, oh, I'll just go cancel my Amazon order. And no, after contacting Amazon twice, talking with a rep, trying on my own to cancel it, it just will not cancel. And so I'm like, I might have 2 different copies of Love, That's an Understatement Volume 2 coming, because that's just how apparently excited I am. Though Ian finally had 1, I am really, really excited. I loved Volume 1 so much. I don't think I have a first impression. I do know we have an unboxing though. That was such an amazing time, and I love Volume 1. I am, I guess, right now triple dipping on this series because I have up to Volume 5 digitally, and then, you know, getting the physicals, and I'm really excited. Goodness, I should tell you what it's about first before I say why I'm excited for Volume 2. So it's about our main female lead. Her name is Risa. She is like this straight A student. She's very diligent. In fact, she carries a bag with her wherever she goes so that she is prepared for every single incident that happens. Like, in the bag, there could be multiple things. Like, you got hurt, you need a band-aid, boom, she's got you. Oh, you need a tissue, she's got that. Oh, did you get wet today because of some unexpected rain? She's got either an umbrella, and she's also got you a towel. Like, she has your back in every single situation, it seems like, which is probably a really good thing, because when she meets the male lead, Zen, he seems like a delinquent, and he is on the side of the street. It's raining. He's gotten beat up pretty bad. Everybody's avoiding him because they're like, oh, this guy's shady, you know, not good stuff. We don't want to be around that. Well, she comes to him, puts an umbrella over his head, also gives him the number of like the local clinic, and I think definitely gives him like a band-aid or a bandage or a towel, something to help him. He ends up going. Well, he seeks her out to say thank you. On his motorcycle, no less. He's like, hey, I want to say thank you because you're the only person who helped me. You more or less saved my eye, because his eye was really, really messed up. And she's like, oh, no, I'm good, you know, just whatever, just sort of leave me alone. But no, he doesn't want to stop there. He doesn't want to stop there. He keeps coming and bothering her. He lends his shoulder to her because he's like perfect boyfriend material. She's like, no, I'm good, thanks though. Like Risa. So that's sort of where their love story unfolds, where it's like you have this delinquent who's not, yes, he's a delinquent, but I feel like it's the trope that I love, where he's got that name, he's got that label, he's got that vibe, but he's really, really sweet and just a really fun dude. While you have the highly academic person who sticks with the plan, has a strict path and all of that, and doesn't deviate from it. And Zen's coming in and just throwing Risa's life into chaos. And so I'm excited to see more of that chaos into Volume 2. Excited to see what Zen's gonna do, because I think even even the blurb mention that he's still lending his shoulder, even if it's just to drool on, because yes, Risa did that at one point. They are such a sweet couple. I really highly would recommend this if you love delinquent romance and you want something sweet and fluffy with really good art. It has been such an utter gem. I love it so much. And so getting this print update, getting this volume 2, I mean, it was like when Outside Builds Are Destined to Die. It was one of the first ones that came to mind. I'm like, yes, it has to be featured because of how excited I am. Once I get news that the pre-order has shipped, I'm going to be rereading volume 1 because I need more of them in my life. I love these characters and I just can't wait to see what happens, because even though I have been buying the series digitally, I never read past volume 1 because of how much I loved volume 1. Before I read Glass with a Chance of Delinquent, which is like my #1 delinquent romance, this manga was #1. It's hard for me because Glasses has my heart. I love that series. I've reread it 6 or 7 times at this point, between reading it digitally on K-Manga and then reading it physically from 7 Seas. But Love That's an Understatement was exactly the delinquent manga I had been looking for. Like, it is the one that put delinquent romance on my radar. So it has a very special place in my heart. Like, in my heart, they're equal ground, even though I've only read one twice and, you know, the other one a whole bunch, but still, I love both of them and would recommend both series. And for #5, this one was my first license win of this year, and I was over the moon about it. And that is The Demon King is Way Too Overprotective. Like, I couldn't believe we got this. I believe it's a 4-volume series. It is completed in Japan. I know that. I don't think it's 5. I'm pretty sure it's 4 volumes. It's by the same creator as Kiss with a Cat, which personally, I didn't really love that manga, but this one came on my radar, I believe because they were star-crossed lovers, and I saw some art for it, and I saw like the general premise, and I was like, I'm hooked, I'm sold. It was an instant add to my license wish list. Basically, yeah, it seems to be star-crossed lovers. You have this Demon King who comes to Earth to meet the female lead, but the thing is, the female lead doesn't remember her past life, and apparently the Demon King and the female lead, who was like a past saint, that they were lovers. And yeah, she has no memory of this. In fact, in this lifetime, she is a high school student who's really struggling. I get the impression that she lives alone, that her parents aren't with her for some reason, and she is about to get scammed by somebody because she's living literally paycheck to paycheck. But the Demon King basically steps in, though she doesn't know that's him. She thinks it's a really weird man who has horns on his head, steps in, saves her from getting scammed, and declares like, hey, I know you were my past lover. And she's like, you're really weird, get away from me. But the thing is he's not going to leave. And I guess he helps her in, I don't know about financially, but he seems to help protect her at least in this world, this lifetime that she's in. So I am seated for this whole premise. Now, I haven't read many star-crossed lover romance, but I do admit I do feel like I do enjoy it when I have read it. I don't know, there's just something that can be really romantic and special about it, especially when you see the leads come together and there's no more star-crossed kind of trope that's happening. You're like, yes, our leads can be happy. I think that's why this mainly went on my radar, because I'm just so curious of what our male lead is going to do and what is it going to take for our female lead to remember. Will she remember who she was in her past life? Plus, I'm just here too for all the shenanigans that are surely gonna unfold, because if they were romantic and he feels feelings towards our female lead, you know things are gonna happen. There's things that are gonna happen. Like, he's probably going to want to kiss her, give her a hug, something. And of course, she's gonna be like taken off guard, like, yo, stop, what are you doing? I don't know you like that, but he knows who she is. Yeah, I'm really excited for this one as well. As you can see, lots of excitement for all of these. Like, August is gonna be such a good month for reading. I mean, hopefully it's always a good month, but I feel especially with having some of my most anticipated licenses of this year, August feels really, really big. But I would love to hear from you, friends. What are some manga that you're looking forward to releasing next month? Let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and make sure you stay tuned for Friday for the shoujo release calendar. Bye!